What is up with y'all, man? It is your boy David. We're back with another reaction video today. We're reacting to China is beating the US in every metric. Is there validity to that statement? Yes. Now, in every metric, no. Obviously not in every metric, but in a lot of things that matter for real, yes. The United States is lacking. The United States is one of the only developed countries in the world without universal health care. Mind you, the United States has more money than the Roman Empire that spanned all the way from fucking damn near India to damn near Great Britain. That empire and all of North Africa. Damn near. You know what I'm saying? And they have more money than that, but no universal health care, which is insane. But with that being said, make sure you like and subscribe. Try to get to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get straight to it.
Okay. Yeah. Cough twice for me?
Whoa. Pause. Not to cough twice for me. Nigga put a stump in your ass and they say cough twice. Yo. Whoa, pause.
Great. Okay. Yep. Let's check in.
Primary season is almost over.
The 2026 midterm elections quickly approaching.
I keep saying it's the most important midterm in our lifetime.
New polling ahead of the midterm election shows Democrats are feeling highly motivated to get out and vote.
You might have noticed it's August and midterm season is starting. Hundreds of politicians, both the seasoned and the bland, are out on the campaign trail, shaking babies and kissing people they shouldn't.
Shaking babies and kissing ass for a vote. That's how it should be, the American way.
One big question is looming over all of this. What's the point? I'm not talking about Trump messing with the election or whatever. That might get its own episode. Maybe. I'm talking about the promises that candidates are running on.
I'm running for the Senate to make life easier today.
Comey will lower taxes, cut wasteful spending, and roll back costly regulations.
Watley will break the gridlock, cut taxes, and lower costs.
Slashing regulations that...
So they just be fucking lying on everything that they do. These niggas just be lying. Talk about we gonna cut costs, lower this and that. Nigga, like nothing is lower. Bitch, I swear to God, I'm paying like damn near. I hit the pump. My car was out of gas, nigga. I was paying damn near $50-$60 at the pump, nigga. Fuck y'all niggas talking about. What the hell? But they lying, bro.
Hurt Alaskan Energy.
They lying, bro. Like, yo.
And cutting reckless spending that drives up prices.
In the Senate, I'll take on corruption and keep fighting to lower your costs.
This is about who's on your side, and I'm with you.
With very few exceptions, there is nothing in the program of Republicans or Democrats that is the least bit enticing. The only things on the menu are either doing nothing about the ongoing horrors or the same tired and utterly pointless posturing like getting men out of women's sports. There's
you know, they don't do anything. They just do useless ass shit. Talk about we don't want trans people in we don't want trans women in sport. I don't give a fuck, boy. I don't care about that shit. I could care less. Y'all niggas gotta be fucked up, man. There's niggas out here that can't eat, bruh. Like, can't eat. And niggas worry about fucking trans women in sports. What's wrong with y'all? Like, y'all niggas stripping.
Absolutely zero ambition. No big ideas, no radical transformations, just the same things we've heard for 15 years, while one party speedruns societal collapse and the other one rolls over and helps them. So, what are we gonna do? Well, you might remember last year when Americans flocked to the Chinese app RedNote after Congress's TikTok ban.
So now American users are flocking to a different Chinese social media platform, making it the most downloaded app in the US. It's called RedNote.
The ban was designed to give American politicians and capitalists another way to control what people saw on social media. And it did the exact opposite.
I'm moving to China because what the fuck, America?
I'm thinking that this place is...
Okay, I was on RedNote too for the first few seconds that it was active. That hoe was cool, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't hit it. I thought niggas was gonna stay on RedNote, but clearly everybody loves TikTok just a lot more. I was gonna say a little bit more. No, nigga, a lot more. So, yeah, you know, it is what it is. I ain't gonna lie.
Like North Korea. Like everybody's living in poverty. They're oppressed by their government.
I'm floored right now. I'm absolutely floored.
Oh my God.
We've forgotten about it now, but almost overnight, 500,000 Americans got direct exposure to Chinese people, life, and culture without the sensationalist filter of the corporate media. And it turns out that makes a difference. I know that because I don't need to tell you what China maxing is. You're in a very Chinese time in your life, I'm sure. You know the words to Yi Jianmei. You wear the Beijing bikini. You are ready for what's coming.
Tomorrow.
I don't know all of the things about China. I was on that app for like 2 seconds, and then when TikTok came back, I deleted that shit and went back to TikTok. I ain't gonna lie. Sorry. It's just, yeah, I don't know too much about China. I ain't gonna lie.
You are turning Chinese. And I know that sounds intimidating, but there is no point in fighting it now.
Like, maybe you don't know what I'm talking about, but there's a good chance you've at least heard of things like Speed's live stream tour of China, or Hassan's.
Everybody saw.
Even with a more
Everybody saw Speed shit. Come on now, man. That motherfucker was booming. Shit was crazy, nigga.
more mainstream media diet, seen videos like these.
When I tell them how modern the cities are, people are shocked.
I like living in a giant industrialized futuristic city because I grew up in such a small town America.
Americans are, more than ever before, getting a lot of exposure to what China actually looks like.
Yeah, they got Walmart in China? Oh shit, I ain't know that. That's crazy. What else they got in that motherfucker? They got like fucking they got like HEB in that bitch? I've only been in Houston for like 3 years, bro. What am I talking about HEB for a game?
And I can't lie, it looks good. Like, just look at this. This isn't the most thorough political analysis you've ever heard, I know, but name any city in the US that looks like this. New York, maybe, I guess, but that feels like a real stretch. Vegas, we just don't.
New York is the only city in America that could probably match what they're doing in China, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. There's no other city for real. Like, Houston is cool. Houston is beautiful at night. I can't lie. I see why niggas be rapping about Houston all the time. You know, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. Drake, you might gotta start rapping about Chengdu, China, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you might find some bad shit in Chengdu, man. Or Shanghai. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Not 4 a.m. in Shanghai. Hey, come on, Drake. You never know.
Don't have any places like this. And China has 4. They're China's Tier 1 cities, the 4 most developed, wealthiest, technologically advanced places in the country. And if 4 cities doesn't sound like a lot for a nation of 1.4 billion people, fair enough. I forgot to mention there are actually 15 more cities basically at Tier 1 level that also look like this. Compare any of these places to what they looked like 30 years ago, and it barely makes sense. Where in the US have the last 30 years looked like this? And it's not just the general vibe of the cities and the pretty lights and how clean they are. It is everything that supports them. Now you can probably see where I'm going with this, but 26 years ago, China had 0 high-speed rail.
But now I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure China, one of these cities, these Tier 1 cities probably has more high-speed rail than New York. Like, no cap, like, shit crazy.
Today, the country has over 30,000 miles, which is more than every other country in the world combined.
Yep.
That means that if you live in any Chinese...
That means you only gotta touch a motherfucking car in China, bro. You just gotta hop on a train and get to your destination for real shit. You know what I'm saying?
City bigger than Mesa, Arizona, you're pretty much guaranteed to have access to all these other cities on a train from the future, and for as little as $13 a ticket. We don't have anything like that either. We have the Acela that costs $1 million and goes half as fast for all of like 30 miles. It lets you skip past Rhode Island and Massachusetts, which, if we had to have HSR anywhere, that was the right call. But that's just nothing like what China has proved is possible these days. And the most impressive thing is that a few years ago, no one believed in this. If you paid attention to politics in the 2000s and 2010s, you probably remember how common it was to see headlines about China's ghost towns. There were all these...
Oh yeah, I saw that shit. It was talking about how China has like all this construction infrastructure, but nobody lives in that shit. I remember those things, bro. They was talking about this shit all the time, bro.
Reports of huge cities sitting completely empty that supposedly proved that China was running around without any clue of what they were doing. They were building expensive trains to nowhere, connecting cities that no one lived in. Consider Pudong. Pudong was the poster child for the excesses and inefficiencies of China's semi-planned economy. Milton Friedman, the free market guy that got America on neoliberalism and invented the pencil, called it, quote, a statist monument for a dead pharaoh on the level of the pyramids. In jerk talk, that means a huge waste of money. And yet, fast forward a bit, and Pudong now has an occupancy rate of 99% and 4 times the population of Manhattan.
Damn!
Pudong isn't alone. Kangbashi, Binhai, Tianjin, the Zhengdong New District. All of these places I'm definitely pronouncing right got the ghost town treatment. In 2013, 60 Minutes covered Zhengdong specifically like this.
He's showing us around the new eastern district of Zhengzhou, in one of the most populated provinces in China. Not that you'd know it. We found what they call a ghost city of new towers with no residents, desolate condos, and vacant subdivisions, uninhabited for miles and miles.
You know, it's crazy. I really feel slightly dumb for buying that ghost town rhetoric. Because think about it. China has China has the largest, not larger than India, but has an extremely large population. Like, China's huge. It's a lot of people live in China. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that I bought this ghost town shit, I feel like a dumbass, bro. Like, a place with that many people has ghost towns. Like, I don't know, man.
And miles of empty apartments.
Here it is now. Over 1 million people, incredible infrastructure, public transit, and randomly, but importantly, 41 hospitals. Here's a crazy statistic to put this in context. 90% of Chinese...
This what communism like? Shit. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all, but this look good as hell. 41 hospitals? That's crazy.
These homes have been built in the last 30 years. And the most shocking part, 90% of people in China outright own their home. Compared to here, 65% and falling, even though it's supposed to be the most basic part of the American dream. The image of China that's in the collective imagination, with good economic indicators on paper, but a rundown backwater in practice, is just not matched by reality. China, of course, still entertains this idea to some degree. The country still calls itself a developing nation, as opposed to developed, because, quote, once you are...
Like, China has this vision of itself in the future to where, like, they are literally just better than the United States. So they're still calling themselves a developing nation, even though they literally are a world superpower. So they think in their mind, they can literally be better. They're just actually just chilling right now. That's crazy, bro. That's insane. That's insane, bro. They got way more... They have way more developments than the United States has had in, like, 30 years that the United States had in, like, damn near 50 years straight, bro. Like,
advanced, you are declining. China isn't there yet. Still today, I think most people think of China as a factory offering cheap labor and cheap stuff that breaks right away to the wealthiest countries. That hasn't been the reality for a while now. These days, China might be the most advanced place companies go for the most high-tech stuff. Take one example. In the EV market, there's the car manufacturer BYD. These electric cars are radically cheap and fantastic, and in just a few years, they've become the global leader in this market. You might be hearing about it for the first time if you live in the US.
Now, I heard about BYD, man. I saw this one video of the car, and that motherfucker was it was driving like this into a parallel park position. I couldn't believe it, nigga. That was moving like these. Shit was crazy.
US, because thanks to our insane tariffs, we can't buy what even the New York Times calls the world's best electric car. And the kicker is, their least expensive model sells for 10 grand brand new.
Damn!
I'm a car guy, and maybe that gives what I'm saying a little credibility. But if not, here's Ford CEO Jim Farley.
It's the most humbling thing I've ever seen. 70% of all EVs in the world, electric vehicles, are made in China. They have far superior in-vehicle technology. And even beyond that, their cost, their quality of their vehicles is far superior to what I see in the West.
I drive the Xiaomi. We flew one from Shanghai to Chicago, and I've been driving it for 6 months now, and I don't want to give it up.
Nigga, what the fuck? I ain't gonna lie. I was on the board of directors of Ford, and I heard the CEO out here whipping a fucking Chinese EV. But I ain't gonna lie. I'll be like, man, nigga, you fired, boy. You ain't supposed to be gassing them niggas up. You supposed to be whipping the Ford, nigga. Why you ain't whipping the Ford, nigga? You're fired. What the fuck? Crazy, man? Nigga tripping. No cap.
And if all that sounds crazy, wait until you hear about Chinese solar power.
In China, a years-long investment in renewable energy is beginning to pay off.
Since China started taking climate change more seriously in the early 2000s, and especially since 2020, government subsidies to the solar panel industry have created what even the Financial Times can admit are rock-bottom prices. Production is so thoroughly developed, the battery and power conversion tech has improved so much thanks to China's investments in R&D that now we have a solar panel overcapacity. The world literally cannot absorb it. Not to put too fine a point on it, but what the fuck have we been doing? And China...
I really don't even... Honestly, I don't even know. Because mind you, China has less resources than the United States. Let that sit in perspective. China has so much less resources than the United States, but their politicians... I mean, I don't think they have politicians because, you know, it's kind of a dictatorship. You know, Xi Jinping run that shit. But still, you know what I'm saying? Their system of governance, like, it just leads to more efficiency. Like, they're just so much more efficient and locked in when it comes to, like, actually doing shit for the people and for the betterment of their country. Like, it's actually fucking crazy.
China was able to get there for the very modest sum of $18 billion in state money. We just spent twice that on losing the Iran war.
And that is, and I gotta sit there and really say, Donald Trump is a fucking moron. How are you, the most powerful country on earth, losing to a developing country in the Middle East with nothing? Like, twin, look, bro, just bend the knee. Just bend the knee and just be like, we're sorry, nigga. There, boom. And just bend the knee and let them open up the straight so my gas can be lower. Please, gang. I don't have this patriotism like that these niggas have, bro. Just let them win it. Let them have it, bro. Just let them have it, gang. It's cool, bro. Fuck.
And it's not just electric cars and solar power. Consumer goods like DJI's microphones and drones and cameras are world class. Huawei's phones are incredible. Even iPhones. They're designed in the US, but here's Tim Cook.
There's a confusion about China that, and let me at least give you my opinion. The popular conception is that companies come to China because of low labor costs. I'm not sure what part of China they go to, but the truth is China stopped being the low labor cost country many years ago. And that is not the reason to come to China from a supply point of view. The reason is because of the skill and the quantity of skill in one location and the type of skill it is. Like the products we do require really advanced tooling. And the precision that you have to have in tooling and working with the materials that we do are state of the art. And the tooling skill is very deep here. You know, in the US, you could have a meeting of tooling engineers and I'm not sure we could fill the room. In China, you could fill multiple football fields.
Meanwhile, at least on the
damn, that nigga just fucking got it. That's crazy, bro.
tech side of things, our leaders have staked our future on email writing software and chatbots that nobody wants.
Yeah, bro, it's so sad. And the bubble's popping too. I watched a whole video on this shit yesterday, bro. They were talking about how, like, basically it went from, the reason why they pumped so much money is that they had this conception that it would basically be life-changing technology. So they pumped so much money into it so that their comeback from it, what they made back from it, would trump that. So they put in, I don't know, $1 trillion. They'll make like probably a couple trillion. You know what I'm saying? They thought that they would go make that back. Now they dropped the what's it called? The promises of what this technology could be. It went from, oh, change the world, to it can do some tasks good with supervision. Keyword is supervision. That means that this thing cannot function by itself because it has this thing. And everybody who uses AI once or twice knows that AI will literally lie. it'll lie and not know what the fuck to do or say. It'll only give you false information on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So they reduced what they think it can be. So now that $1 trillion ticket, I mean, you see it on the screen, $1 trillion, that $1 trillion spending price, they're not gonna get that. They're not even gonna get that back. They're gonna actually lose on that. They're gonna lose on that because what they're doing with AI, it's not as beneficial as they thought it would be. It's not as beneficial as they thought it would be. So they're gonna lose on that. And that shit crazy. The bubble popping, bro. It's over with. It's over with, bro.
These kinds of things are little treats that are pretty cool, and you'd expect the richest country in the world to be on the front lines of that stuff. And we're not. Treats were the last thing the US could point to and say, look, we're the best at this. Not anymore. And I get that it's not strictly necessary. Nobody needs super advanced mics and phones to live. But all this is happening in a country that's also done the most to make basic life necessities accessible to the greatest number of people. China's track record is 800 million people being lifted out of poverty in 40 years.
Damn! The United States cannot do that. 800 mil? The United States can't even do that. That's crazy.
It's a country that, no, isn't perfect in matters of healthcare, but people there don't automatically lose coverage when they lose their job. There's no such thing as medical bankruptcy in China. Meanwhile, we're paying $2,000 out of pocket every month on health insurance. China is also a country where education is, for the most part, incredibly affordable and doesn't become this lifelong debt trap. And last year, China's real estate boom ended. Prices dropped, the market suddenly became a much smaller part of the country's economy. But did China have a 2008 moment like every major outlet predicted they would?
No.
No. They rode it out without a dramatic crisis like we had here. They knew it was coming, and they planned for it. Imagine that. Your government having a little foresight. Speaking of treats,
The idea of government being like actually useful and doing what they need to actually do in this country is foreign. Like, look what Mom Donnie's doing. Mom Donnie out here fixing roads and shit, making shit more affordable for New Yorkers. And mind you, New York is the most expensive state I've ever been in my fucking life. But I digress. He's making shit more affordable. Niggas can't even believe it. They're like, what the fuck? This socialist ass motherfucker. Oh my god, this is crazy. He's just doing shit he's supposed to do. But niggas are so comfortable and used to useless politicians in this country. They think what he's doing is fucking insane, which it is low-key insane that what he's doing. It's supposed to be the standard, but it's not the standard. So it's above the standard. It's insane. You know what I'm saying?
I've been cooking up a little something for you these last few months. But as always, I want to respect your time. If you're not interested in hearing about my new project, you can skip ahead to this timestamp, and you can always come back later.
And if you want to see his project, watch his video. No cap.
If you want to. Building the people the mail club on because content theme good combination green on turn through C acceptable close letter go here's club normalism six package lab social example the tail isn't in. Now, none of this is to say that China is some kind of utopia.
Oh yeah, no. I would never sit here and say China's perfect. China is far from fucking perfect. China, from its inception, has low-key been a death trap. They have literally been in so many wars and so many conflicts. It's been fucking crazy. It's been insane. You know what I'm saying? But they're doing very well for themselves though.
This video could have been about a ton of other countries that have us beat, and we'd say the same thing. For example, China has a higher youth unemployment rate than we do.
That's unimportant. That's unimportant as fuck. When you're young, you're probably with your parents. That's unimportant because when you're young, you're supposed to be living with your parents, and your parents are supposed to take care of you anyways. So that's not that important at all, honestly. That to me is the United States. I'm not impressed by the United States having a lower youth unemployment rate. That's fucking useless to me, bro. That doesn't make real sense to me at all, honestly. I'm not impressed by that.
Out on par with the EU. But they're also going in much the same direction as places like the US and the UK on things like free speech and digital freedoms. They too have old-ass leaders who won't leave office. And even though China's done a lot to develop its renewables, they've also put a lot of coal power online. I'm not trying to hide any of that from you. At the end of the day, they have problems just like every other country. What sets China apart is that, unlike our leaders, who are satisfied with promising a little and delivering nothing, 75 years of CPC leadership has produced something incredible. A society where the average person is better off, especially compared to the generation before. And all those problems I just mentioned, they're actively being addressed. Unlike here, where everything just gets worse all the time. And while it would be a mistake to attribute China's success to a single strategic decision in a country that is famous for letting its cities and regions experiment with how they want to develop.
Yeah, no, this growth and expansion from China is not happening from a single stroke of the pen. This is like multiple people working overtime all together at the same time, doing multiple things at the same time. This is building a country that's doing shit like this does not happen overnight. It happens over huge amounts of time, bro. No cap.
It would also be a huge mistake to ignore China's Marxist influences. Hardly anything in the US can exist outside the profit motive. We just don't do anything unless some billionaire can get a cut and add another zero to his bank account. A lot of China's development has followed a similar rule, with guardrails in place to prevent the horrifying inequality we see in the US. But a lot of China's development has also happened even when profit was impossible. You don't build cities that'll stay empty for years if you're constantly worried about the bottom line. You don't make this many solar panels if your plan is artificial scarcity. Where comfort and survival is incompatible with the greed of a few, China has proven that you can actually do something about that. All I want is for us to start believing that too. I want to actually be for something in the United States. We are all sick and tired of having to fight every little thing the US does tooth and nail. I'm tired of knowing that every action our corporate overlords force through the government will negatively affect our lives. China offers us a vision of a vastly better future. Enough with the anti-China propaganda. Do we want a better life, or do we want to suffer more and more every year? It's time to stop buying the bullshit and fight to be more like China.
Well, he's right. And with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe and check out your thoughts, subscribers. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching. We are out.